Welcome to Module 3 of Solution Focused Trifecta, a guide to being solution focused. My name is Joe George. Let's start building. On page 18 of the workbook, I ask you to put down 10 different things that have gone well since you did Module 2. Now with that, for anything that you put down, it doesn't have to be 10 totally randomly different things, but for each thing you do identify, dig into it. Who was involved? What helped? What were you doing at the time? What was different about that day? And it's the same when you're helping your clients, helping your partners, or helping the teachers or whoever you're working with. When you help them dig into what's working, identify the descriptions, the actions, the people, look around, dig into it. And with the workbook activities, I can't stress enough, please, as you're watching this module video, pause it on each page that corresponds and do the actual page. Like, obviously you should have done page 18 before you started today, but as we're going today, when we get to the next slide, pause it. Jot down anything you want to remember for page 19 that corresponds to that slide and proceed accordingly. And the solution-focused trifecta, as you remember, 3 tenets, 3 skills, 3 segments. And the magic sauce in all of it is putting together the solution-focused language, but not focusing on the questions themselves, focusing on putting yourself in the right state of mind. That's the halo, the self-check. How are you? Assess and act. You ready to look and listen? Okay, halo. Reframing, which is solution-focused looking. Not knowing stance, which is solution-focused listening. And then putting that all together. Today, we're focusing on what's wanted, both now and later. And as you remember, which I just referred to, descriptions, actions, and people, for getting a 360 view of the person in front of you. Scaling, again, I prefer 1 through 10, but what do you prefer? Have you found anything that's useful? If so, use it. The first part of what's wanted is the best hope, and that's what's wanted now. The best hope is the biggest, strongest, tastiest desire. And I don't like to use goal or outcome just because they have too many preconceived notions with too many people. I don't want them thinking about a SMART goal. Is it specific? Is it measurable? I want them to think about really what would make our time together useful. And it's not just usefulness, it's really a desire that they want to act on. So I literally start with when they walk in the door, I greet them in some way, and then I'll ask, what are your best hopes for talking today? And they get it. It doesn't matter on the age. If with a kid, if they're if they don't get it, I'll clarify. But generally, I'll ask, pause, wait, and they'll fill in, or they'll ask me a question for clarification. But frequently, what they give you is not their, it's really the top of their mind. Sometimes it's even a throwaway answer, just to give you an answer because they don't want to dig into it. Ask them what difference that would make. Ask them, as you can see on page 20, the best hope clarifier. You need to make sure you're working on something tangible, something that is controllable by them and leads to a positive emotional outcome. After you have that, you know you can continue. And with that, the best hope contract acceptance is also something you really want to use just to make sure that they have buy-in. You can see both of them on page 20. Now, one of the things that solution-focused brief therapy, all the solution-focused branches, are famous for is the miracle question. And Steve DeShazer and Sue Kimberg, they would give, I have a variation on page 20 that you can see, and different solution-focused practitioners twist it slightly differently, but it all comes out to the main point that the miracle happens when they don't know that it happened, usually while they're sleeping, and then asking them to build forward what are the first small signs, because they need to build the picture to envision the path. And the gentleman over at Brief in the UK, they came up with a twist on this with Harvey, Evan, and Chris, and they took out the metaphysical aspects, the supernatural overview of miracles, to be more pragmatic. But in both cases, they have the same use, they have the same purpose. It's to help the people leapfrog the problem, help them leapfrog over to a vision of a great future, the preferred future, that they have exactly what they want, and then helping them build it. And again, as you can see on 21, the page, the miracle question and the tomorrow question are very darn similar. It's just one has fantastical aspects, one doesn't. And if you're a more pragmatic person, fine, use the tomorrow question. If you want to be a purist, stick with the miracle question. I don't think you have to choose, because I use the miracle question to segue from the best hope to the preferred future, and I use a version of the tomorrow question to shift between what's working and what's next, which we'll dig into in later modules. And here we are for the preferred future. Again, the preferred future is what the world looks like after the problem has gone away. It's when they have achieved their best hope and helping them envision it. Again, segue with the miracle question. You could use the tomorrow question here if you wanted. And then this, if you're doing all of this within a scale, which I regularly build all of the solution-focused trifecta within the scale, and where 10 is the preferred future, where 10 is the butterflies, puppy dogs, success, and smiles. And then what are the first small signs? Dig and get that description. Again, you're going to encounter problem talk. It's normal. And just like any great person, do exactly what you've always been doing. Acknowledge and validate. And then listen, select, build to help them move forward. Now, it's time to go past that quiz. Then practice. Looking for reframing and solution-focused skills, and building what's wanted. Watch the videos, take the notes, do the reflections, and practice, practice, practice. And then, when you're ready, move on to Module 4. Just remember that you have a total of 8 weeks to do all the segments. In the meantime, try to keep doing good and doing well.